Imagine waking up. It's early, the air is salt heavy, and frankly, it is freezing.
Right.
You aren't in some glass condo in downtown Toronto. You're on the edge of the North Atlantic.
We're talking about Canada's East Coast today.
We are. But we aren't just looking at travel brochures or, romanticizing lobster rolls, though they are incredible.
They are. But no, we are looking at a very specific legal mechanism, the kind of shortcut through the whole Canadian immigration system.
A huge shortcut. Today, we are doing a deep dive into the Canadian Atlantic Immigration Program, or the AIP.
And our mission here is really to unpack how this federal program lets people bypass the brutal point systems you see elsewhere.
Exactly. That whole game of competing with thousands for having a PhD, perfect English, and being under 30.
Yeah.
The AIP is just a different universe.
It operates on a completely different logic. It moves away from human capital, how many degrees do you have, and it focuses on a labor need.
Do you have a job?
Do you have a job? Simple as that.
And for this, we're pulling our insights today from a really comprehensive 2026 guide by Dara Immigration Services. So we've got the latest numbers, the fees, the context.
And I think we need to tackle the core tension right away.
Which is?
The source material makes this critical distinction. The AIP is accessible, meaning the barriers, like language scores, are way lower. But accessible does not mean simple.
Okay, so unpack that difference for us. Accessible versus simple.
Simple would be, you fill out a form and you're done. This program is arguably more complex than Express Entry because it needs this three-way coordination.
A three-way handshake.
Exactly. It's a handshake between the federal government, a very specific type of employer, and you. And if the employer messes up, your application fails. You're not totally in control.
So it's a lower bar to jump over, but the ground you're landing on is a bit more slippery.
That is a fantastic analogy, yes.
Okay, so before we slip, let's get our bearings. When we say Atlantic Canada for this program, where are we talking about?
We're talking about the 4 easternmost provinces. So New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland and Labrador.
Right. And let's be real for a second, this isn't Vancouver weather.
No. And that's part of the deal, right?
Yeah.
You're trading that big city lifestyle and the cost of living for a region that's smaller, colder, but also much more community-focused.
A fair warning, then.
A fair warning.
Okay, let's get into the mechanics. Reading the Dara guide, one acronym jumped out at me, and it usually strikes fear into the hearts of employers. LMIA.
Yes, the dreaded labor market impact assessment.
But the AIP just exempts employers from it.
It does. And to get why that matters, you have to understand the normal process.
Which is a nightmare.
It is. Usually a company has to prove to the government that they tried really, really hard to hire a Canadian first.
Yeah.
Posting ads for weeks, interviewing locals.
And proving that absolutely no Canadian could do the job, which is, almost impossible for a lot of roles.
It's a massive deterrent for business owners who just need a chef or a truck driver now. It costs money, takes months. Under the AIP, that entire step is just gone.
So wait, how does that work? Why would the government allow that? Are locals going to be furious that the jobs are being taken?
That's the tension. But the government did this because the economic desperation in those provinces was, and still is, real. They have an aging population. Young people were leaving for Toronto.
So they were bleeding talent.
They were. The provinces basically told the federal government, look, we don't have time for the red tape. We need bodies in factories and hospitals or our economy stalls.
So it's not a favor to the immigrant. It's an emergency measure for the economy.
Precisely. It's an economic stimulus plan that's disguised as an immigration program.
Got it. It's like a VIP entrance at a club. Not because you're famous, but because the club is empty and they need people on the dance floor.
I had to steal that one.
Go for it. But here's the catch you mentioned. It's employer-driven. So I can't just apply on my own?
No, you can't just raise your hand and say, I volunteer for Nova Scotia. You have to have a job offer first, and not just any job offer.
Right, I can't just get my uncle's corner store to hire me.
Not unless your uncle's corner store has gone through the whole process of becoming a designated employer. The company has to be vetted, authorized by the province to do this.
Okay, so that creates a bottleneck. You have thousands of people who want to move and only a limited number of these designated employers.
Correct. And that creates a market dynamic we have to talk about. Because that designation is so valuable, it creates a massive risk for fraud.
The whole buying a job thing.
Exactly. The buying a job scam. The source material has these big red warning boxes about it. You'll see recruiters online asking for $20,000 to secure a position.
And let's be crystal clear, that is illegal.
Strictly illegal. A legitimate employer never, ever charges you for a job offer. If you pay for a job, you're committing what's called misrepresentation.
And what happens if you get caught?
Refusal and a 5-year ban from entering Canada. It's not worth it. They are cracking down.
Okay, so assuming we're not doing that, how do we find these legitimate employers? Is there some secret list?
Thankfully, it's not secret. It's public. The provinces publish registries online. You can literally search New Brunswick designated employers and download a PDF of every single one.
So the strategy is get the list, then start stalking their careers pages.
Basically, yeah. It's tedious work. You're cold applying. But at least you know that if they say yes, they have the power to support your PR.
Okay, let's shift to the applicant side. Because if you land that job, the actual requirements for you seem, surprisingly low.
Low bar is a fair way to put it. The program recognizes they don't just need tech CEOs. They need line cooks, home support workers, truck drivers.
Right, and the requirements reflect that. Let's talk about the tier system. It feels like alphabet soup sometimes.
Think of tier as just a way of ranking jobs. Tier 0 and 1 are like management and professional roles. Tier 4 is more entry-level stuff.
So if I'm applying for a Tier 4 job, like a home support worker, what language score do I need?
You need a CLB-4.
And translate that for us. What does a CLB-4 sound like?
CLB-4 is survival English. It's not debating philosophy. It's, where's the bathroom? Read a safety sign. Understand a simple instruction.
Whereas an express entry, you're looking at a CLB 7 or 8 minimum.
Which is basically professional fluency. So dropping to a CLB 4 or 5 opens the door to millions of people who are skilled with their hands, but maybe not with a second language.
It's huge. What about education?
Same idea. For those Tier 2, 3, or 4 jobs, you just need a high school diploma, not a master's degree.
And work experience?
The magic number is 1,560 hours, which is basically 1 year of full-time work in the last 5 years.
But the Dara guide pointed out this amazing loophole, the aha moment for students.
Yes, the International Graduate Exemption. This is probably the most powerful part of the whole program. If you graduate from a recognized school in Atlantic Canada,
like a 2-year diploma in Halifax.
Exactly. Then you do not need any work experience.
Zero.
You can graduate on a Friday, get a job offer on Monday, and apply for permanent residence on Tuesday.
That is incredible. Why would they do that?
Retention. For years, students would study in the East and then immediately move to Toronto for work. This is their way of trying to hook you into the local economy before you get a chance to leave.
It's a retention strategy, but the handcuffs are permanent residence.
The golden handcuff, maybe.
Speaking of retention, there's one more requirement that felt really different. It's called the settlement plan.
Ah, yes. This is the soul of the AIP.
It feels more human than just uploading tax documents.
It is. The government realized people weren't leaving because they didn't have jobs. They were leaving because they were lonely or couldn't find a doctor.
So how does a settlement plan fix that?
It forces the issue. After you get the job, you have to contact a settlement service provider. They're free. They're nonprofits. And they interview you and your family. Everything. Do you have winter coats? Do you know how to register for health care? Do your kids play soccer? They build a personalized roadmap for your life there.
And this isn't optional, right?
Mandatory. You have to send this plan to your employer to get your provincial endorsement. The idea is to make the employer a partner in your success outside of the workplace, too.
I do wonder how many employers actually read them versus just, signing on the dotted line.
Well, that's the risk. But the policy intent is good.
Okay, let's talk money and time in the 2026 context. What does this cost?
The fees are standard federal stuff, about $1,600 per adult. But the real story is the proof of funds.
Right, where you have to prove you have a big pile of cash.
For express entry, you might need $15,000 or more. With AIP, because you have a job waiting, that number drops to about $3,400 for a single person.
$3,400. In 2026, that's like 1 month's rent in a Vancouver basement.
Pretty much, maybe less. So it really democratizes the process. And if you're already in Canada working, the proof of funds is zero.
Wow. Okay, money is good. What about time? How long is the wait?
The 2026 estimate is about 10 to 14 months for the PR application itself.
A year is a long time to wait if an employer needs you now.
Which is why the AIP work permit exists. It's the gap solution. Once you get endorsed by the province, you can get a temporary work permit to move and start working right away.
So you're earning Canadian dollars while you wait.
Correct. You're not just stuck in your home country.
Okay, we've painted a pretty rosy picture. But the Dara guide has some serious warnings. We have to talk about the risks and something called the Toronto trap.
This is maybe the most complex part of the program because it touches on constitutional rights.
Okay, set the scene. I use the AIP, I get my PR, I land in Halifax. But secretly, I just want to live in Toronto.
This is the intent to reside issue. When you apply, you have to sign documents stating you have a genuine intention to live in that Atlantic province.
But once I'm a permanent resident, doesn't the Charter of Rights give me the right to live anywhere?
It does. Section 6, mobility rights. Once you are a PR, you can move.
So where's the trap?
The trap is about your intent at the time of landing. If you land in Halifax, get your PR stamp, and then immediately get an Uber to the airport to fly to Toronto, an officer can argue that you never had a genuine intent.
So you lied on your application.
It's misrepresentation.
Yeah.
And if they can prove it, they can revoke your status.
But how do they prove what's in your heart?
They look at your actions. Did you rent an apartment in Halifax? Did you register your kids in school there? Or did you just leave your family and all your stuff back in Ontario? If you have zero ties to the Atlantic, it's a huge red flag.
That's terrifying, because life happens. What if you genuinely intend to stay, but 6 months later you get fired?
That's different. If you tried and it didn't work out, you are protected. You can move. The issue is purely about faking it from the start.
So the takeaway is, don't fake it.
Do not fake it.
There was one other risk that scared me. Employer de-designation. This seems totally out of your control.
It is. If your employer breaks the rules, maybe they get caught mistreating workers, the province can strip them of their designated status.
And if my application is still being processed when that happens?
Your application collapses. It's canceled. Because its validity depends entirely on that employer's good standing.
So you could do everything right, wait 10 months, and then lose it all because your boss messed up.
Yes. It's a precarious situation. You're very dependent on them.
Which brings us back to that accessible but not simple idea.
Exactly. It's a high-trust relationship. You trust the employer, and the government trusts you to actually stay.
So knowing all this, who is this program actually for?
It's for the pragmatist. It's for the person who looks at the math of express entry, the crazy high scores, and realizes they can't win that game. So they choose a different game.
A trade-off.
A huge trade-off. You trade geographic preference for a viable path to a new life. And for many, it pays off. They move to Moncton expecting to leave, and then they realize, wait, I can afford a house here. My commute is 10 minutes. And they stay.
The sticky factor.
The sticky factor.
Before we sign off, I just want to leave everyone with a final thought on that intent to reside paradox. In a world of remote work and digital nomads, our immigration system is still trying to anchor people to specific patches of dirt based on intent.
It raises a huge question, right? In the 21st century, is our identity tied to where our feet are or where our opportunities are? The AIP tries to force them to be the same place, but human nature is just a lot messier than a government form.
So if the ocean is calling, or if you just want a path that skips the line check, those designated employer lists. But maybe buy a good winter coat first. Thanks for deep diving with us.
A pleasure as always.
Stay curious. We'll catch you on the next one.